Welcome to Part 3 of the Citing Cases tutorial, Citing Cases without a neutral citation. In Part 1 of this tutorial, you learned about neutral citation, the purpose and identifying characteristics. In Part 2, you learned how to cite cases with a neutral citation. In this video, we will demonstrate how to cite a case without a neutral citation using the McGill Law Journal's Canadian Guide to Uniform Legal Citation, 8th edition, also known as the McGill Guide. You can find copies of the McGill Guide in our library. Section 3.1 of the McGill Guide recommends a parallel citation for cases. This means that a citation must include at least two sources to aid the reader in locating a case. The sources are listed in a parallel citation in the following order. First, a neutral citation, if one is available. If no neutral citation is available, two sources must be used in place of the neutral citation. Additional sources should be cited in the following order. Official reporters, such as the Supreme Court order, or semi-official reporters, such as Ontario Reports. Lastly, list citations to unofficial reporters or online databases. A list of official, semi-official, and unofficial reporters is available in Appendix C of the McGill Guide. You can browse the abbreviations found in the database record to identify the best sources to include in your parallel citation. For cases without a neutral citation found in electronic databases like CanLII, the parallel citation follows a general format. First, the style of cause in italics, followed by a comma. Next, a citation to print reporter with a preference for official or semi-official reporters, followed by a comma. Third, a parallel citation to the online database identifier for the case in an electronic database, followed by a comma. Finally, put the abbreviation for the tribunal and/or jurisdiction, if this information is not clear from the other citation elements. End the citation with a period. Let's examine what this looks like in practice. Here is an example of a case found in the CanLII database, R versus Jack. This case has no neutral citation. We do not see any elements that we can recognize as parts of a neutral citation in the format of year, tribunal, decision number. We also note that this is a Supreme Court decision from 1997, which predates the implementation of neutral citation in the Supreme Court of Canada in January 2000. Remember that Appendix B3 of the McGill Guide contains information about the implementation dates for neutral citation in Canadian courts. Since this case has no neutral citation, we create a parallel citation based on the hierarchy of sources, beginning with official or semi-official reporters. We can see all the places where this decision was published in the database record header under the heading Citation and Other Citations. Our first source will be SCR, or Supreme Court Reports, since it is an official reporter. Include the year of publication, 1997, the volume number 2, the abbreviation SCR, and the first page of the judgment, 334. The next source for our parallel citation will be the online database identifier for this case, 1997, CanLII 356. We will also include the tribunal identifier in parentheses, since it does not appear in any of our other citation elements. To include this case in our references, begin under a centered heading References. Start with the style of cause in italics. In this example, capital R space V space Jack followed by a comma. Leave a space and enter the citation to the official print reporter. In this example, it was published in 1997. Include the square brackets around the year to indicate that the reporter is organized by year. Follow this with the volume number, 2, the abbreviated title for this print reporter, capital S, capital C, capital R, for Supreme Court reports, and the first page of this decision, 334, followed by a comma. Follow with a space and enter the online database identifier for the case. In this example, the online database identifier from Canley is 1997 Canley 356. Since the tribunal identifier is not included in the elements of our citation, Section 3.9 of the McGill Guide recommends that we follow the parallel citation with a space and the tribunal abbreviation in parentheses. As this is a Supreme Court case, we enter open bracket, capital S, capital C, close bracket, end with a period. The McGill Guide does not require a retrieved from URL for uniform legal citation. However, your professor may require a link. It's best to ask and confirm whether your professor requires a URL link for legal citations. This concludes Part 3 of the Citing Cases tutorial. The following source was consulted. Please visit Guelph-Humber Library Services for help with legal citation. We do not copy, edit, or proofread your references, but we will direct you to the appropriate resources.